Hello friends, in this lecture we're going to create the sprites and the flipbooks. Okay, so since this game is going to have a ton of sprites and a ton of flipbooks, creating all of them now is going to save us a lot of time in the future. I'm going to create the first couple and then I'll give the rest for you as a challenge. After I show you how this is going to work, I'm going to skip creating all of them because it's going to take like 15 minutes and I'm assuming you don't want to watch me for 15 minutes doing the same thing over and over again. The process is going to be the same for all of these. So that's the plan. Let's go ahead and get started. First of all, inside of each one of these folders, we're going to create a flipbooks folder. So let's go into Captain, right click, create flipbooks, and then we'll do the same thing for each one of these. I'm doing this just so that we can have easy access to all of the flipbooks for all of these different folders. We did Krabby, okay, decorations as well, flipbooks, just like that, and that should be the last one. And then we're going to go ahead into the Captain first, into attack, we're going to right click, extract sprites from this sprite sheet. It has 3 frames, so we'll go to grid, and divide the width by 3. Extract. Here we have the sprites. Then we're going to simply select all of them. Right click, create the flipbook, and the naming convention is flipbook underscore captain, because this is the captain, and then the name of the animation, which is attack. And then we're going to drag the flipbook into the flipbooks folder for the captain. Just like that, and now it's in here, perfect. Next up, we're going to do die. Let's right click, extract the sprites. This one has 4. Let's go into grid, divide it by 4. As you can see, all of these have 64 width, but it's always a good idea to just do the division, just in case that it is different. Let's create a flipbook from this, and this will be flipbook captain die. Move it into the flipbooks folder, and that is going to be the process. We're going to go into each one of these folders, create sprites or extract sprites from the sprite sheets, create the flipbook, put the flipbook into the folder. We're going to do all of these, and then we're going to move on to the collectibles, do the same thing here, and for the Krabby as well, and finally for decorations. So I'm going to give all of that to you as a challenge actually, and I want you to simply follow the same process I did for each one of these. Okay, here is the challenge slides, create the rest of these, and don't worry about the tileset folder, that's going to be different, so just don't touch it. And finally, the Windows sprite sheet is 74 frames or 32 by 32. It's a very huge sprite sheet, so it's a little difficult to calculate it. So here you go, it's 74. Give it a shot and come back when you're done. Welcome back. I hope the challenge was fine. I went ahead and created all of the flipbooks for all of these. So let's take a look at them. First of all, we have the captain. As you can see, we have attack, die, fall, hit, idle, jump, and run. Fall was a little weird because it's just a single sprite, but we still have to create a flipbook from it because we need to use it in a flipbook component. And then we have the collectibles. These are the diamond, the skull, the red potion. Creating these was the same process, so nothing different. We had to go through, create the sprites, and then create the flipbooks. If you name them slightly different, for example, if you name this flipbook potion instead of red potion, don't worry, it's completely fine. It's okay. Then we have Krabby here, which has attack, die, hit, idle, and run. And finally, we have the decorations, which are the candle, the candle light. These go together. We have the small chain and the big chain. We have the door, and finally we have the window, which looks like that. Now we're going to set the correct FPS for each of these flipbooks. First of all, let's go to Captain. What we can do is we can click on individual ones and set their frames per second here, but that's going to take a lot of time. So we're going to select all of these, right click, asset actions, edit in matrix. Let's open the sprite section here. And from here, we can set the frames per second to 10. So all of the captain assets will have 10 for frames per second. Let's save this, close it down. And then we're going to switch over to the collectibles, do the same thing. Whoops. Unreal is kind of glitching out, as you can see. This happens sometimes. We just need to restart it. So just give me a second. Okay, we're back. That tends to happen for me for some reason while I'm doing stuff like this. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for these collectibles. Edit them in matrix. And these are also going to be 10. Let's save it. And then we're going to do it for Krabby. The Krabby is going to be 12. So it's going to be slightly faster. These are the numbers I tested and numbers that seemed fine to me, but feel free to, change these if you don't like them. And finally, for decorations, the window is going to be 15, so that should be fine as the default value, so we don't need to change that. The door is going to be 8, so only the door will be 8. We'll change that, save it. And then the rest of these are going to be 10 as well. So let's select the rest, right click, edit in matrix, and set the FPS to 10. All right, awesome. With that, we have all of the sprites and flipbooks that we're going to use in the game. Like I said, this is going to save us a ton of time because now in the future lectures, we don't have to create, the sprites or the flipbooks for the player when we create the player. Same with the enemy and same with the decorations. We can just use them, and that's going to reduce the lecture times and, save important time. Perfect. That's going to be it. There isn't really anything else I want to do. As a recap, in this lecture, we created all of the sprites, we created the flipbooks from the sprites, and then finally we gave the flipbooks the correct FPS values.